Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm an addict named Derek, and this is my buddy here, Mike, and this is Addiction and Recovery Talk, episode 21, I believe it is.
21, baby.
21. We're delayed a few days. This is Thursday. We do it every Sunday, but I had to go to New York City Sunday, and I was working 12 hours all week last week from 7 at night to 7 in the morning, and I just couldn't get with Mike. And that last day, I worked Saturday night until Sunday morning, and I wanted to get my last workout in before I got on the bus. I caught the 115 bus out of Camden Greyhound to New York City. I had to get that last workout in. I saw Mike at the gym. I said, Mike, man, I got to get this workout in. And I said, we're just going to do it during the week when we get time. And you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And we're back. We're going to do it again this Sunday.
Now you get 2 sessions this week, baby.
Yeah, so it's all good. The subject we're going to talk about today is like basically how like people talk trash.
How misery loves company.
And how like we've came from the depths of hell, drug addiction. We openly talk about that. And we were talking about different things, and he was telling me stuff about him. And I said, yeah, like a lot of people say to me they think I'm on TRT, you know what I mean? And I remember I posted when I was 57 years old on TikTok, and I got a good response. And then a couple of people said, oh yeah, you gotta be on something and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But they were like unidentifiable because it said user, blah, 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 blah. And I rebutted and I said, look, that's a compliment because I look that impressive that you think I'm on something, right? But the truth is, I have no reason to lie. But not only that, I was like, whoever wants to dispute me, we can go to anywhere you want and take a test, right? But you have to pay for it, right? Because you're accusing me. I have no reason to lie. And we would go to the doctor, wherever we gotta go, we'll take the test. The only thing I ask is when the results come in, you come on this podcast with me and say, yeah, these are the results, and this guy is not on it. You know what I mean? I might just do it anyway, just to shut your people up. I might do that. See how much it costs. I might do it. If it ain't too expensive, I might do it. But I want the person who talks trash, anybody who's watching this, anybody who knows anybody at these gyms that I go to who thinks I'm on this, and you know, I'm not. I'm just gifted by my higher power, who is God. And I have a belief system. And I believe in Jesus. That's just me. I don't care who you believe in. We don't judge anybody. That's my belief system. I went through the 12-step program. I'm still involved in it. So this program teaches me to tell the truth and not lie. Keep it like it is. Now I'm going to really keep it real. I did go to a doctor, a urologist, about TRT about 4 or 5 years ago because somebody was talking to me about it and said, man, if you're this built now, imagine if you do TRT, blah, 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 blah. So I looked into it because if I was going to do it, I was going to do it through a doctor because I don't do street stuff no more. I've been clean 29 years, right? So I went to a urologist, got a referral from my doctor, went to the urologist, right? I should go to him. You know what he told me? Because he's here in Voorhees. I forgot his name, but I can find out easily. He's on East Sham Road. He said, dude, look at you. You don't need it. He says, your pencil still working, right? I says, yeah. He said, well, you don't need it. Obviously, look at you. He says, if you want some pills, I'll give you some pills, some Viagra or whatever. I was like, all right, that's cool, right? He said, if you really want to do it, you come back and see me in 6 months. I said, okay. I never went back. I never went back to this dude. Now, I'm not judging anybody.
That's an actual good doctor, though. Everyone, keep in mind, that's going to be very rare.
Right.
That you're going to find a doctor that denies putting you on chemicals.
Yeah, because I was kind of really ready to do it because I figured, damn, I'm killing it now.
Good man.
If I do that, and at the time, to really keep it real, I was doing this body transformation contest, and I wanted to win. I was like, man, if I do this.
That in fitness?
No, it was at it was for Blackstone Labs.
Okay.
It was a body transformation contest. So it was like, you could have been 400 and lost 200, and you might have been the winner because you transformed.
Percentage though, yeah.
It wasn't
So
it wasn't like the best looking dude one. It wasn't
local,
bodybuilding.
right?
Blackstone Labs.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I just know the reason why I got involved. This girl I knew, her and her husband, they basically did advertising for them, and they got supplements for free, and they got whatever they got. They were paid by them to, you know, put their supplements that they take on their Instagram or whatever social media they had. And so I did the contest because, you know, I wanted to see how I did. And actually that contest changed my life because that got me in touch with nutrition, the part that I didn't have. And I started doing, I was already doing the intermittent fasting, but then I got my boy Reg, shout out to my boy Reg. He got me on this low carb, no carb diet. And the thing that really helped me was the fact that I was already doing intermittent fasting. The meals were like 5 or 6 meals a day, depending on the day. And I was like, Reg, just too many meals, because it was too much food to eat in an 8-hour window. I can't eat all this food. I was too full. He was like, well, tweak it. And so I did, and that's why I look like this. But the bottom line is, I'm psychopathic. I'm a maniac. I was a maniac in the street. I'm a crazy motherfucker. I was in the street, and I took that energy that was negative, because I was like not fucked with out in the street. I ain't gonna say I was feared, but people didn't fuck with me. I was a fighter, and I would fucking go to the mattresses, so to speak. You fuck with me, it's going down. So I'm a motherfucker. So if you fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck with you. But I don't look for trouble. I don't start none, right? Don't start none, won't be none, right? That was my mentality. If you start some, I don't run away from it. I invite it because I like that shit, for real, for real. So like I took all that energy into who I am today. Single father, raised 3 kids by myself. Just like I attack shit. I don't make excuses. I don't make excuses about that I'm black and this is not fair and that's not fair. I take that on as a challenge. That's how I take on my life. I don't make excuses. I'm black, that's not gonna change. So I can complain about it. I can say, this motherfucker is holding me back, he's racist. It might be true, it might not be true. But I don't care. If they shut a door here, I'm going over there. And I've made it 58 years by being this way. So like, you know, like, and he was even telling me, somebody said something to him about it, because he works at the gym that I go to a lot. And I'm like, dude, I don't even want to know who it is. It doesn't matter, because they're not man enough to say it to my face. And a couple of people were mad enough and talked to me, and I talked to them about it, and I told them my side of the story. Whether they believe me or not, doesn't matter if they believe me or not, because they're not my God. They have no heaven or hell to put me in. I'm at peace with myself, but like I said, I'm willing to take a test. If somebody's willing to pay for it, let's go. We can go today, tomorrow, every day we're free, have the time to do it. But I might do it anyway, just to shut people up. It's let them know how impressive this really is. I don't take TRT. I don't have to, because the gods have blessed me. We all have talent. Some people are super smart. Some people are this. Some people know how to make money. Some people know how to be assholes. Wherever your talent is, God bless you. But he gave me this. This is my gift, okay? So if you're mad, talk to God about it. But like I said, if you want to really know, come to me. But I might do it anyway, just so we could broadcast this and I could show it. I might do that. I'm gonna see how much it costs. You know what I mean? I really am.
Shut them up.
You know what I mean? Give them an example of some stuff that, you know, that might be on your mind. You
Not
know what I'm
only are
saying?
you going to shut the haters up, but you're going to show everybody else who's out there that they can do it.
Just, man,
That they can do it. You don't need shit, man. You can do it.
Yeah,
And
discipline.
bouncing
It's
off
not
all
my
that.
fault. I look good, smell good, you can dance all night long. And the women still love me, still want to be around me. I drive them wild. I don't care how old they are. They want to be around my energy. You know why? It ain't even about how I look. It's about my personality and my energy, because it's positive. That's what's more attractive than this. It's how you treat people, how you want to be treated. How about that? How about trying that? Don't be jealous because you see me talking to beautiful women. It's not my fault. Baby. Let's talk about it.
That's what's up.
Okay?
Listen.
And I think I'm going to do this anyway, just to show it, you know what I mean? And maybe I'll do a little interview with the doctor and say, Doc, tell the people that I'm natural. Because that'll be undisputed.
Truth will set you free.
It'll set me free.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to see about that. I'm going to look into that. Just because I know ain't nobody going to be balls enough to come up to me and say that. So I'll do it for you. I'll pay for it myself. How about that?
And you know what, man, I'm going to build up that. Everybody wants to be treated a certain way. So why the fuck do you treat others like shit?
Because you hate yourself.
You're going to get back what you give.
Yeah.
everything you give is going to come back to you in the same vibe. Everything you input is going to come out. So if you
karma.
watch degenerate ass TV with, I don't understand what happened to us as a society, but we've now thought it was normal, well, we think it's normal, to watch television shows where people are being raped and fucking women are cursing and talking dick this, dick that, and fuck you and this and that. Ladies, that's disgusting. Men, you're inputting this garbage in your brain. Your subconscious does not tell the difference between fake and real, imaginary. It doesn't. It just sees this stuff coming in, and that plays on your psyche. All that shit will play on your mood. Everything you do is self-hypnosis. Everything you watch, everything you input into your mind, even your own thoughts. Your mind is the one thing you have control over. And to give that control up to anything else is a detriment to your life. You must keep...
I'm
got
stirred up
to
now.
keep up with you got to input the right shit in order to output the right shit.
And
And
you
if
know
you
what's
see
crazy?
people doing
You know what's
things
crazy?
and you know you want to be dicky to them, what do you
A
think?
show like this don't get like all these views. Like for instance, I like a show, a podcast, Club Shay Shay. I like that, you know. And I was watching the one episode with Cat Williams, right, dude. I
That's
didn't
actually
even,
the only one I ever watched.
dude. And he had his biggest show before that was the Steve Harvey show, when he had Steve Harvey on, right? That got 8 million views. Do you know how many views the Cat Williams episode got? I just found out. I was watching it today. 72 million views.
That's what happens when you tell the truth.
Right, and not only that, it was like basically he was blasting people. You know what I mean? Even if whether it was true
Yeah, I
or
saw it.
he was blasting people, and people like drama. They don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know Cat Williams. I think he's great. I mean, he's funny. You know, I watch his comedy. I watch his movies, and I respect him and some of the people he was talking about. You know, I don't know these people, but I like you know, some of their movies or their shows, whatever. I don't know these people, so I don't care, man. But it just cracks me up how like stuff that goes viral, like, you know, like me and you were talking about like life changing, trying to help people. We get like I didn't even look to see how many views we get, because like I said, if we get, I don't know, let's just say a minimal amount of views. Let's say we get 14 views, but the people who look at it, they say, hey, let me show my cousin who's struggling with drugs, right? And let me show him this. And that person looks at it and he goes, gets help and changes his life. Then we're successful. Then it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, because I do a lot of things. I'm going to be successful in one of them anyway, or a few of them. So this right here is just.
This
Right.
is for y'all.
This is.
We already got our shit
And
going.
it's for me, because my program says we keep what we have by giving it away. So I'm sharing my life of like a low point in my life. I mean, I could walk around and not even mention that I was a crackhead. Nobody would know. You know what I mean? Unless you were unless you were in the meetings with me, or unless you knew me back then. And not a lot of people that I got high with are in any position. Either they're dead in jail or they're still messed up. You know what I mean? So like, I changed my life for the better, man, which is a testimony, man. That's God, man. God kept me alive for a reason, man. There's like at least 3 or 4 times where I could have ended up dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the truth. And I was spared for a reason. And so like, you know, I go to places to try to make a difference. And physical fitness just happens to be a passion of mine. So like I had posted a picture of me 10 years ago when I was 48. I was 270 pounds, and I wasn't built like I am now. I mean, I had a dad bod, right? Nobody was talking about me then, you know what I mean? But I changed, I put the work in, so like.
Nobody's going to talk
And
about
here's
you when
the
you're
thing,
average.
if you're at the gym, you see me there for hours. So if I'm working that fucking hard, like maybe this is the result of that. Did you ever think about that? Like, you know what I mean? But
Hard work
maybe
beats talent.
maybe maybe
Any
you
day.
still have doubts. Maybe you think that whatever you think I'm taking helps me do that. Like the hardest thing I take to help me do that is fucking pre-workout. that, and I don't take that all the time. But when I'm a little tired, I take some pre-workout. I took some yesterday.
Bro, people
Dude,
are gonna talk shit.
I was working out for hours, bro. Killing it.
People are gonna talk shit 9 times out of 10.
That means you're doing
The
good.
reason they're saying negative shit about you when you tell them, yo, I'm about to go this, oh, you can't do that, you'll never do that. Because in their mind, they can't fathom even going up against the challenge that you're taking on, that you're going to conquer in turn. They can't even imagine getting in that ring. So they tell you, so they project their bullshit on you, trying to bring you down to their level so
Well,
they can feel better.
Doesn't matter.
Don't
I was in the
keep
gutter.
bar here.
Mike,
Fuck them.
we were in the gutter. Like,
Been in the gutter.
they were talking about me when I was smoking crack, and they should have been talking about me because they saw me go down gradually. I was in denial. I remember I told my friend, and they cared about me. They actually cared about me. I used to go work out with them, right? And I was still trying to live that double life and trying to keep up appearances because I was the type of addict. I had a job,
Yeah, I
and
tried
I
that for a
worked.
while,
You know,
too.
I actually worked for the post office for years, right? And so I used to go to my buddy's house. Like we used to work out. I think 4 times a week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. For whatever reason, those are the dates. But it was 40, whatever it was. And they were like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, you losing weight?" I was like, "Oh yeah, man. I just started doing taekwondo, man." And but I was blaming it on all these other things. But they were looking at me like, "This guy." They knew what was going on. You know what I mean? And they were making comments, and everybody knew I was a drug addict before I did, or before I wanted to admit it.
Negative and positive changes,
Yeah.
others see in you before you do.
Yeah, and I
Trust that.
went back to them when I got clean, and I was embarrassed. And I remember telling them,
It's normal.
I remember going to them, and I was still in rehab, and I was home for the weekend. I went to a party they were at, and talking to them about what I'm doing now, and I was embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like, I was embarrassed. Like, I got just that low in life. And I feel like that was my path at this point. And I came. I guess last week we talked about self-acceptance. So a long time ago, I accepted the fact that that was my story. I mean, my dream was to be either a professional football player or a baseball player. Those are the sports that I liked as a kid. In football, I found out I was really good in football. I was gifted, and when I went to high school, I was great as a freshman, and I was supposed to really have this great career. And I mean, I did pretty good, but I didn't reach my potential, because it's hard to reach your potential when you're smoking pot every day, and then you're drinking and you're doing all this shit. And I didn't reach my potential, and that always bothered me. It bothered me for a long time. Even after I got clean, I was like, damn, man, I could have did this, I could have did that. I could at least try. And
Keep that in mind, all y'all who think pot's okay. It's just pot.
well, I'm gonna talk about me. I couldn't be my best.
Nobody can. Nobody can.
I mean, it might work for some people who are creative artists. I noticed it works for them, like rappers and musicians and.
That's what they say, but I'd like to
painters.
see them sober, see how much better they are then.
Yeah, well,
really.
if you can smoke pot and be successful, good for you. God bless you. But I can't. That's just the bottom line. I accept my situation, and this is what I got in touch with. And this is the thing about being an addict. We have an allergic reaction to drugs, so we can't use drugs. Like some people could come home, have a beer. They could have liquor in their house and drink on the weekends, or have a cocktail here and there. And like my dad, he was like that. He didn't do drugs at all, and he had liquor in the house and beer, but he was a lightweight. He didn't drink much, and then when he did, he had a beer or two, and that was it. And then I drank with him a couple of times. He was a lightweight. I remember he asked me to. He took me for my test for the post office, and he had me drop him off at a bar. And then I drove there after the test. I came back to pick him up. He's like, come on in. And I was 20, 21. I had been drinking for years at that point. He was like, so you can handle a beer and still drive? I was like, yeah, I can. And I ended up drinking with my dad, and I drove him all around. We stopped at another bar, and he was all twisted. I was just getting warmed up. But he wasn't, he was a lightweight. He wasn't like me, But addiction is in my family because two of my uncles were alcoholics. You know what I mean? And he had two brothers. They were alcoholics, but he wasn't.
And I know it's like you say, some people can be successful with drugs.
I just look at like Snoop Dogg, for instance. He's obviously, it's known, he talks about it, he smokes weed, and dude is highly successful. So
yeah, but that's the exception.
Yeah, there you go. That's
you're,
true.
You're not the exception to the rule.
Maybe.
You're the rule.
Well, most people are not. Most people are
You're
not.
not the exception. And yeah, you might be able to succeed or
now
get
that
a
you say
little
that,
bit ahead.
I'm
but
the
imagine
exception.
being sober, how much better you'll actually be.
I'm the exception that I don't need TRT yet. Now, I'm not saying that I might not need it one day, but I'm 58. If I don't,
You don't need it by now, you're good.
Probably not. And then and when I start declining, I'm good because I already do hot yoga. So I'm gonna continue to do that because I saw this lady. She was 82 years old, and she was in the room with us, and she looked in phenomenal shape. And it was funny because when it was over, we were all questioning her, and I was asking her questions. And her daughter, I didn't know it was her daughter, who had to be around my age to stop hitting on my mom. She's married. I go, hey, your mom ain't got no ring on. I'm like, your mom's hot. And the lady thought that was funny, and we laughed. But it was like, she's 82 years old. She's in the room doing hot yoga. So I'm going to always keep moving. I'm going to do physical fitness because that's what I found out is so important in my life, and it's going to keep me going. And it's like my new high, my new drug. So people, you can't do what I do because you're not, I'm psychopathic in a good way. Like, I'm twisted. You know what I mean? I heard the term, you're crazy. You know how many people said that to me? But I take that as a compliment because I like David Goggins, and he says, when people say you're crazy, that means you're onto something. Because some of us are extreme as individuals, as people. And I'm just extreme. I'm extreme. I was a single dad. I didn't raise my kids probably like normal people do. I told them early, yo, you guys got to grow up quick. I know you're kids, but I got to start teaching you things. You got to learn how to work this alarm system. You got to do. I made my kids grow up quick. I was like, I'm by myself. I got to go to work. You're gonna be here by yourself to make it work. You guys gonna have to step up your game. And they were little kids, and I told them the truth. When their mom was on drugs, I told them the truth, and I told them that their mom is not a bad person. She's just sick. She has disease of addiction. I have it too. That's why I go to these meetings. I just told them the truth, and they were little kids, and they were listening intently, and they were listening to me like. First of all, I think they were happy that I told them the truth, and they were like listening, like they wanted to understand. And my kids, man, they're 21, 24, and 28, man, and they told me they liked the fact that I treated them like that. Like I told them the truth. I don't have time to be telling y'all fairy tales. Like, there's no Santa Claus. There ain't no, like, you guys gotta keep it real with you guys. There ain't no Easter Bunny. I'm Santa Claus. I'm the Easter Bunny. Grandma and Granddaddy help us out. This is what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? And it worked out because I told them the truth. You know what I mean? That's the way I felt I needed to go. I don't sugarcoat nothing. And, you know what I mean? I think I'm going to do this test because I want to shut these people up because I'm just that good, baby. But I'm gifted. It's my gift, and I appreciate God gave me this gift. That's why I use it. Because know why I use it? Because I didn't use my gifts when I was a kid, and I could have been something. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum in Palookaville like I ended up. So that's where I ended up. I was a bum.
Here's the deal, all right? Like we were saying earlier, man, people talking that shit, they're going to.
And I love it. I'm glad.
To claw at you.
Keep talking.
Instead of rising and being better, they're going to claw at you to bring you down in any way they can.
Mm-hmm.
And like he said, he's psychopathic. You can't do that. I don't believe that. I believe everybody can. That's a mental state.
Driven.
That's
a better word.
The one thing you have control over, your creator gave you control over one thing in this entire universe. And that's this here, your mind, your decisions. You control it. You decide what you want to think, how you want to feel.
You know why? You
Take
know why
control
people are
of your
messed
life.
up?
Get in the driver's seat and do not let others influence you unless you want that influence.
Yeah.
If you don't like what they gotta say, put that shit out and keep it moving.
Check this out.
Be strong. Be the 1%, dude. Who's the successful?
2%.
Who's the best? The very few, the different. So why do you want to be in this group? Why do you want to be part of everybody? Because it feels a little good? Brother, I promise you, it's not going to feel good forever. Because one day you're going to look at yourself and go, just like he said, I could have done this. I could have been that. Oh, I should have done this. Woulda,
It
coulda,
bothers me
shoulda. Do you
for
want to live a
years.
life full of woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda regrets? A life full of regrets. Listen, man, winning's hard. The bill for winning is high. But I promise you, when you get that check for regret, you're gonna be praying.
I check this out. I listened to this book called Outwitting the Devil. Dude, you should listen to this book. It's by this guy named Napoleon Hill.
I know Napoleon Hill.
It was written in 1930 something, right? The book was so powerful that his wife begged him not to release this book. She thought it would just be too much for the public to handle. So he agreed. He died, I don't know, like I think in the 70s, 1970, 71. His wife now owned it. It was hers. She didn't release it. Even though it was 1970, she still didn't think it was time. I think she died about 85. Now the people, their heirs had it. I'm not sure when they released it. It was either in the 80s or the 90s, but they released it, and it's crazy because I listened to this book, and it's in for today's times. It just talks about different things. They talk about tobacco and alcohol instead of drugs, because it's like alcohol was the big thing back then. And the first couple of chapters, they're talking about Napoleon Hill and how he got to be where he's at. The third chapter is where it gets crazy, because basically he's having an interview with the devil. And I can't remember exactly how it goes, but basically the devil has to tell him the truth. He comes up with the stipulation, all the questions I asked you in this interview, you gotta tell the truth. The devil says, I will, but you have to give me something. He said, what's that? You have to call me your majesty. And Napoleon Hill goes, well, why would I do that? He says, because I think I earned that right, because I control 98% of the world. He says, there's only 2% of the world I don't control. And he was like, telling him reasons why and blah, blah, blah. And so Napoleon was okay. And he goes through and he basically puts an outline of how us as humans, we give up our power.
First transgender was the Baphomet.
We give up our power because we think we have to drink, smoke, and do things to deal with stress or to have a good time. And then we overeat and we smoke. We do all this stuff, that foods we eat. We destroy ourselves. We destroy ourselves. And we fall into the powers that be, right? This is just my shit. They got us on prescription drugs. There's a fast food place everywhere. There's liquor stores everywhere, especially in the hood.
Weed shops
You know what I
everywhere
mean?
now.
There's they flood the hood with drugs, right? And I said this, and take it any way you want to take it. I said, they don't even care about white people anymore, because once they started selling Oxycontins and Percocets, who you think was buying that shit? Who you think a doctor's quicker to give a prescription to? A white person? Let's keep it real. Or a black person? They think, oh, the black person's trying to get high. The white person just walks in, they give them this, but they're giving them poison, and it was destroying. Now they don't even care. It's about green. They don't care about what you are. They just care about winning.
It, dude. There are doctors in the hood. Fucking, I knew guys in Camden that were going to their doctors right on Broadway, and they were fucking selling Percocets, getting multiple times, going to see the same doctor 2-3 times a month,
Right.
getting scripts, man.
Right.
So like, it's
they
everywhere now.
They have
Nobody
pill
cares.
mills.
The devil doesn't just care about your race. Evil, negativity doesn't care about
killing
your
everybody.
race, your color. And when you're sitting here fighting amongst each other over bullshit like men against women, Republican, Democrat,
Yeah.
all this
That's
bullshit.
confusion. What's the thing they say? United we stand, divided we fall. This world is so divided. There's wars, there's all. If we sat down and worked shit out, don't you think that would be better? Don't you think that would be better, instead of like everybody having to have nuclear weapons just to
And
keep the other person in
labels,
check and all this
everybody
dumb
gotta
shit.
have their bullshit labels. It goes down from the highest to the lowest. It's higher up there with all the board and all the bullshit, and then it comes down to our level with everybody saying this pronouns bullshit and oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm this label and I'm that label. No, you're not, dude. We're all people. We're all part of the human race.
Yeah, and so like
That's
the
the
name.
bottom line. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to think.
Right.
Any other bullshit that comes up, don't even acknowledge it.
Right.
If you don't acknowledge it, it won't manifest into anything.
Right. And the name of this show is Addiction and Recovery, and that's the main thing we talk about. That's the main message we got out there. So if you need help, go get it. You know what I mean? You made a decision one day to try a drug, whatever how you got on it, through a doctor, through trying it at a party, whatever. But you're at a point now where it's destroying you. Do something different. Do something, you know, like make a stand, because you chose to do that drug. You can choose to do something to help better yourself, because that's what I did. You know what I mean? I choose to ask for help, and I don't do it my way because my way didn't work. You know what I mean? And I still have a sponsor. I still answer to people and check in with people. That's that record by Ice Cube. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
It is.
And so like I felt like I gotta keep this commitment. So I talked to Mike. We decided he was busy yesterday. So we said we're gonna do it Thursday morning. We made that commitment. We're here, another episode, and we were stumped on what to talk about, and then we took our time. And he said, and I brought it up about how people mentioned and told other people that they think I'm on TRT, and sometimes when you hear stuff like that, it gets on your nerves a little bit. But I've learned to accept that and just say, hey man, if people think you're on that, you must really be doing good. If they think you're on something and you're not, that means they don't think you're on something if you're a fat piece of shit. So like I take it as a compliment. And here's the thing, I'm benefiting from it because of my physique and my personality, my work ethic. I'm getting a lot of different opportunities like modeling, being a yoga instructor, being an ice bath facilitator, and I got a lot of other stuff that's brewing because of who I am and the positivity